myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is Mass Transfer Operations 2. So, in the drying chapter, the last topic which is pending, that is your rate of continuous drying. Okay, so in the drying chapter, we studied that what are the types of dryer based on the mode of application, that is your batch dryer and continuous dryer. First we saw about the rate of batch drying, right? So now talking about the continuous drying. So first of all, your continuous drying, it is carried out at two ways, okay? First of all at high temperature and second at low temperature. So now talking about the rate of continuous drying at high temperature. So first of all, you need to know that the drying, it happens in three zones. So the first zone is the preheat zone. Here, as your wet solid, when it comes in contact with your high temperature gas, okay, high temperature air, first of all it has to adjust to that temperature. So that is your preheat zone. So here, rate of heat transfer, that is equal to heat required for evaporation. So here you can see that the amount of heat which is transferred from hot air to the wet solid, that is the amount of heat which is required for evaporation of liquid, right? So that is your preheat zone. The second zone is that the temperature of solid is your constant. It means here most of the unbound moisture is evaporated till critical moisture is reached. So drying happens at a constant temperature, okay, and moisture is removed till critical moisture content is achieved, okay. Zone 3. Here rate of evaporation decreases and so temperature of solid increases. How rate of evaporation decreases? Because in zone 2 already most of the amount of moisture has been removed. Unbound moisture has been removed. So now in zone 3 we are talking about the bound moisture. So the amount of heat which is transferred from gas, from your air to the wet solid, that amount of heat is not utilized to carry out the evaporation. So because of that, heat accumulation occurs, which again, what does it cause? It causes the rise in the temperature. So that is the condition in your zone 3. So here you can see that, first of all note down that we are talking about the counter current drying of solid. It means the inlet temperature of your air is what? Tg2. Okay. So that is the gas temperature at the inlet and the outlet is what? Tg1. Whereas for wet solid, Ts1 is the inlet solid temperature and outlet is what? Ts2. So here you can see that this is the graph of temperature versus distance to the dryer. If this is the inlet of your wet solid, this is the outlet and that is the distance, right? So as we discussed here, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So here you can see that in zone 1, very little amount of temperature of your wet solid has been increased, okay, because it is what? Preheat zone. Whereas in zone 2 you can see that the temperature of your solid is what? Constant. But for the gas you can see that drastic temperature reduction has been followed here, okay. It means most amount of heat has been transferred to the wet solid, but the temperature remains constant. Now talking about zone 3. So here you can see that drastic change in the temperature of your wet solid can be seen. Okay, Ts2, what does it show? Heating of your wet solid, right? So this way you can see that how temperature variation occurs for gas and wet solid. Now talking about humidity versus temperature plot. So this is your saturation humidity, right? If D is the initial gas condition, okay, initial gas condition means for any gas, suppose we are talking about the gas at the entrance, if that is the initial gas condition, okay. So of course as drying occurs, it means moisture is transferring here, so humidity will change, right? So first of all, what is S1 minus S1 dash? That is the unbound moisture drying, okay. So here you can see that AB, that is your unbound moisture drying for the solid, whereas CD, that shows you the temperature profile of your gas, right? So hence here you can see that as your moisture content has been increased from S1 dash to S1, the temperature has been also changed for your gas. So S1 is what? it shows you the corresponding to point B, critical moisture content, okay, and S1 dash, that is the corresponding to point A. So here you can see that the moisture which has been removed from point A to point B, that is the critical moisture content. Till there unboiled moisture is there and which has been removed. So this can be shown here in the increase of your humidity, right? So here you can see that DC1, DC2, DC3, DC4. What are those? Those are the drying trends. Okay. So here we will study. So first of all, what is DC1? That is the variation of humidity with temperature at adiabatic saturation temperature or wet bulb temperature. It is saturated when you are starting it. Okay. In the Zone 2, we are talking about the unbound moisture, that is which is saturated with moisture. It acts as a liquid film. Okay, hence the temperature might be adiabatic saturation temperature or wet bulb temperature. See, for air water system, what we studied that your Lewis number is equal to 1. It means adiabatic saturation temperature is equal to wet bulb temperature. Hence, you are taking it as DC1. Okay, the temperature is what? Either of the both. Now the DC2 curve. If you are talking about heat loss, if you are taking into account heat loss also, then this is the curve, right? So this is the curve DC2. Now DC3 is what? It shows you the trend where addition of heat also occurs. So here you can see that addition of heat. It means your gas temperature is rising continuously because you are heating your gas also. The temperature of the gas is not kept constant. It is continuously increased and because of the heating. Fourth one is gas at constant temperature. So the arrangement would be such that from inlet to outlet the temperature of gas remains constant, right? So here you can see that as liquid from the wet solid and dry air, when it comes into contact, the temperature of gas decreases, okay? But when you are talking about keeping it constant, the arrangement might be such that from inlet to outlet the temperature is constant. Hence here you can see that it is a vertical line. The temperature is what? Constant. Now talking about heat transfer from gas. So here you can see we have an equation that is dQg is equal to d small q plus d capital Q. It means the heat transfer from dry air to wet solid, that is equal to the heat taken by the wet solid plus heat losses. If heat losses are there, then this term is going to come, that is d capital Q. So what is dQg again? Heat which is transferring from hot air to your wet solid. And dQ, what is it? That is the heat which is taken by the wet solid. So rearranging it, we get this following equation. Okay. So this is the final equation which you got. What is ds? That is your A into dz. Where your A is what? Interfacial area plus dryer volume, and dz is your differential thickness of your dryer, right? So Tg minus Ts, what is it? That is the temperature difference for your heat transfer. Again, what is Ts? That is the surface temperature of your wet solid. And Tg is what? The temperature of your dry air. And your U is what? Overall heat transfer coefficient between gas and solid. So you get this final equation as UA into Tg minus Ts into dz. So, but you can also represent your heat transfer in terms of flow rate of your dry air. So what is that? GS, that is mass flow rate of your dry air into the humid heat, okay, into differential temperature difference. That is again equal to UA into delta T into dz. Now dTg dash, what is it? That is the temperature drop in your gas because of the transfer of heat from gas to wet solid. Okay, as heat is transferring to your wet solid, temperature of your gas is going to decrease. But here what is condition? That you are neglecting your heat losses. Of course, this equation which we formed, okay, here we are not considering heat loss. Because of that, what you are representing your Qg, that is Tg minus Ts. Okay, this is a general description of your heat transfer balance, but you are neglecting the heat losses. Hence, you get your following equation. Now, representing in form of number of transfer units. NTOG is what? Number of transfer units. That is equal to differential heat loss upon actual heat loss. What is Tg minus Ts? That is the actual heat loss. and dTg, that is your differential heat loss. This term is again equal to UA into dz upon Gs into Cs. So what we did here, nothing, we rearrange this below equation which we obtained. So if heat transfer coefficient is your constant, then you get the following relation, that is NTOG is equal to delta Tg dash upon delta Tm. So what is delta Tm? That is your average temperature difference. That is the average temperature difference, right? And delta Tg is what? Change in gas temperature owing to heat transfer to solid only. Okay, because here what we assume that dTg is what? We are neglecting the heat losses. But delta T, it incorporates what? That is, as it is the average, so it does incorporate your heat losses also. Hence, it is logarithmic mean. Average here what we are talking about? We are talking about the logarithmic mean. Hence, you get your following relation, which is again equal to Z upon HTOG. Now, what is your HTOG? That is the length of heat transfer unit is equal to Gs into Cs upon UA. So, this way we derive the relation of NTOG and HTOG. The next topic is your drying at low temperature. Okay, so what we are going to discuss here, rate of continuous drying at low temperature. Now, as temperature is very low, so you can neglect the preheat zone. Okay, now again same as the high temperature drying, in zone 2 unbound moisture is evaporated till critical moisture content is achieved. In zone 3 what you are doing, unsaturated surface drying is there and bound moisture is evaporated. So when we are talking about the time required, that is equal to time required in zone 2 and zone 3, and the description is given here. In first zone, your moisture content, okay, till when it is dried off, till critical moisture is achieved, hence Xc2, X1. Here X is what? That is the moisture content in your wet solid, right? Now, above equation gives you the total time required for drying. Now what is in here? That is the rate of drying. When we are representing in form of mass transfer coefficient, that is equal to Ky into Ys minus Y. What is Ys? That is the humidity of gas at solid surface. It means we are talking about saturation humidity. Of course, just above your wet solid, okay, your gas would be saturated with your water vapor. Hence, your humidity is what? Saturation humidity. Now, here you can see that for the differential height, we have what? Zone 2 and zone 3. Again, what is it? This is the counter current drying mechanism, okay. In zone 2, your wet solid is entering, whereas in zone 3, okay, your gas is entering with the concentration, with the humidity Y2, and it is going out at humidity Y1. Whereas for wet solid, it is entering with humidity X1 and it is going out with humidity X2. Now, Xc and Yc, what is that? That is the critical moisture content, okay. As zone 2 talks about what? It talks about the unbound moisture drying, and zone 3 talks about bound. So Xc, critical moisture content, it divides unbound and bound drying, right? So first of all, talking about zone 2, here the humidity, your moisture content, that is more than critical moisture content, hence this is the formula, right? Now this is the mass balance, Gs into dy is equal to Ss into dx. What is it? Moisture gained by gas, that is equal to moisture removed from solid. Now note down here Gs and Ss. What is it? That is the flow rate of your wet solid, of your solid and gas on the moisture free terms. So what is Ss? Ss is the dry solid weight, okay. And Gs is what? That is the mass flow rate of your dry air. Right? So this way, what is the mass balance here? Gs into dy is equal to Ss into dx. Now what you are doing, instead of dx in the above equation of your time, you are representing gas Gs into dy upon Ss. Substituting the value of dx, you get the below equation. Now integrating it, you get this equation as time required to carry out the drying in zone 2, right? Now talking about the terms again, what is Y1? It is the final moisture content of your gas. See, in zone 2, Y1 is the final moisture content. Yc is the critical moisture content of the gas. Xc is what? Xc is not given here because we have converted in form of Y. What is YS? YS is the moisture and gas at solid surface, that is the saturation humidity. And GS and SS is what? Dry weight. Okay. GS is dry gas mass velocity and SS is your dry weight of solid. Now talking about zone 3. So here you can see that in zone 3 your moisture is removed from XC to X2. Okay. Of course XC is more than X2. Further drying is happening of your wet solid, and at the outlet of zone 3 you get your solid with moisture content X2. So here your moisture is what? It is less than XC, right? So the rate is given as what? N is equal to NC into X minus X star upon XC minus X star. Again have a quick revision of your drying. Okay, in your bound moisture content region also, your drying is carried out till equilibrium moisture content, because beyond equilibrium moisture content drying is not possible. Hence substituting the value of your rate at constant drying region. Okay, at your constant rate region you get this following form. What you have done here, you represented your NC in form of your mass transfer coefficient value. Now again substituting the value in equation of your time, you get this following relation. But here what is Y? That is Y2 plus X minus X2 into SS upon GS. See here, at zone 3 at any point Y is what? Entering plus the transfer of moisture which is happening. Okay. So here you can see that the moisture which is entering and the moisture which is transferred from wet solid to your gas. So these two are the entering terms. Now if X star is 0, if you are neglecting that equilibrium moisture content is 0, then you get your following equation, and solving the integration, this is the final representation of your time required for drying in zone 3. So this was about your drying mechanism, continuous drying at your low temperature, right? So that was for today's lecture. Thank you.